Awesome. Okay, so we have Brad as our guest speaker tonight, and I know a lot of our team calls are typically focused on like strategy, you know, and different tools and techniques and marketing plans and all that stuff. But I really think every now and then we have to bring it back to what's really going to move your business is you can be doing all the things, but if your mindset is totally whack, you're really not going to get very far. So this is more of like a mindset call that I think is going to help you guys. I started working, I did a training with Brad. I started back right before Christmas, and it's just been super helpful. And as soon as I started it, I was like, God, I really wish I'd had this as a brand new coach. It would have helped me a ton. I think as brand new coaches, we don't really know what to do for personal development. So we kind of bounce around and we kind of read this book, and then we're like, oh, somebody recommended this podcast. And then, oh, we're going to go read this. And you kind of like lack focus. So I think as a new coach, if I had had this, he has a training program to talk about at the end. There's like modules you go through, and it's just way more systematic. And I think it would have really helped jumpstart my mindset for how an entrepreneur needs to think to be successful. But anyway, it's been really helpful. And I heard him first speak on a Shred Nation call a long time ago. And his story was just super, super powerful and really good. So he's going to be talking to you guys. I think he is back. He had to hop off and restart his computer. So let me see if I can find him really quick. Brad, if you're on, wave, because I'm like trying to locate you. And I don't. He might still be trying to hop on. Does anybody see him? Brad, where are you? Awkward. Hopefully his computer works when he restarts it. I don't see him anywhere. Does anybody see him? Am I crazy? I'm like just blind right now. He's probably trying to get back on. My computer is super slow. Yeah, my computer's been really slow. Okay, so nobody can see him, so it's not just me. Great, that makes me feel better. Oh, we have some new coaches on. Yay. If you're a new coach, can you like wave, raise your hand, say what's up? So, hey guys, what's up? Hey Gwen. Hey, Emily, you're my girl. So as new coaches, really quick while we're waiting for Brad, something that I really want to touch on for new coaches, if you haven't heard about it yet, is the Success Starter program. So we just really emphasize this because, first of all, it's badass. It means you're earning income immediately as a coach, because to be a Success Starter as a new coach, that means you're earning Success Club your first month as a coach or your second month. So it's either the month you enrolled or the month right after. You're hitting Success Club, and that can help you not only, you know, you're earning commissions, you're helping people, you're launching your business, but if you hit Success Club your first 3 months as a coach, you get a free ticket to Summit. So Summit is like our national big conference that we have every year, and this year it's in Indianapolis, and it's so much fun. You get to work out with all the super trainers, and if you're a business builder, guys, Summit has to be like an absolute non-negotiable. It will launch your business. It helps you meet the team. People will like, you know, find that this is real, because people on social media like don't know this is real until you take a picture with your team, and they're like, oh, she's not making this all up, you know what I mean? So you get to work out with the super trainers and get tons of training. It's such a big deal. So if you are at all, even if you're like, honestly guys, if you're like, I don't even know if I can do this business, like I really don't know if this is for me, I'm just testing the waters, get to Summit, because that right there will make your decision. And I would say 99% of the time people are like, hell yeah, I'm gonna do this thing after they go to Summit. But, you know, if you hate it, which I've never heard of anybody hating it, at least you'd have your answer. But it's just such a good time. It's such a good investment. And I know if you're in my team, we have a group for it, like a Facebook group. And I think Carly does too, probably, so that you can find like roommates and stuff like that. So working to help at least 3 people as a new coach is a big deal. Somebody said I see Brad. Now it's like finding Where's Waldo. Oh my God. Where are you?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Oh, good. You can unmute yourself. Awesome. Yes, I already introduced you while you were gone, so I'll let you go ahead and take it away, okay?
All right, no problem. Thank you guys so much, and I am so freaking sorry about that. Apparently, when you do the whole, like, when you avoid the whole MacBook update thing, it actually matters. Because my system is still resetting on the MacBook that I was going to be on. So now I'm using a totally old computer. So bear with me as this computer gets loaded up. Can you guys hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Is that coming through? Awesome, awesome, awesome. What is going on, everyone? I apologize again, but I just want to say I am so excited to be here today and chat with you. It's going to be such an amazing talk about mindset. It's going to help you master this, master what goes on between your ears. And that's so, so, so important. You've heard a million times over and over and over and over again, you got to change your thinking to change your life. You've heard that before, right? But how do you do that? Like, how do you do that when things aren't going well? When that New Year's resolution, like, feeling like wears away? How do you do that when the mindset is not quite there yet? That's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to help you master that. So as you're here getting all set up for the call, put the phones on silent, take the picture for Instagram stories now, and then we'll post it afterwards. Just be fully present, and I promise you that it will be so, so, so valuable. So type in the chat box, what is a really big goal that you have for 2019? Type that big goal into the chat box. I'd love to see what comes through, because every single person has a really big goal. 1-star elite, absolutely love this. So incredible. And the thing about this goal, that it's so amazing because there's a recipe to making it happen. That means that there's a way to make that goal happen. And you know your basic business building activities, right? You know that. You're learning from some of the best leaders in the entire company how to do that, but something you might miss is the way you go about using your ingredients in that recipe is what matters. So what does that mean? That means that you could invite 1 billion people, but if your mindset's off, you're actually going to repel them. You could set the biggest goal in the world, but if your mindset's off, it's actually going to be a goal based out of fear instead of a goal based out of who you want to become. You could have the best training for your team in the whole world, but if your mindset's off, they're not going to do anything. So they're going to be sitting there and just going, I'm not going to do this. Like, you're going to wonder why your team isn't growing. You could run a challenge group super, super well, but if your mindset's off, they're going to feel like pawns that you're using. So what goes on in your mind, your self-talk, your mindset is the most important piece out of all of this. And you've heard that before, right? You've heard it before. But how do you do it when things aren't going well? So what I want to do is share with you guys a couple of stories from my life. And the reason I share these stories is just so you can kind of see where my limiting beliefs came from. And as I share those, what we can do then is show you how I turn them into an amazing tool for success and for business. And so you don't have to relate at all. That's totally okay. But as I go through these, where can you relate? So just try to see yourself in the story. So growing up, I had an emotional roller coaster of a childhood. And it gave me some really, really screwed up beliefs about how life is. And I'm curious, type yes in the chat box if you can relate to the topic of money stress at any point in your life, whether past or present. Type yes if that's you. Okay, cool. Because I can totally relate to that. That was a huge, huge, huge challenge in my life. I had just an emotional roller coaster of a childhood when it came to money. I remember my parents would scream and fight and yell about money almost every single day. And I never understood why. There was always a limitation. There was always some form of, we can't afford that. There was always some form of, why'd you spend that much money? There was always some form of, like, this should not be overdrawn right now. And I would watch my dad work 90, 100-hour weeks and barely get by. And I remember my parents were having a fight about money and why the bank account was getting overdrawn when I was probably like 10 years old. And so Anna, I totally relate to that. The college debt, that was a huge thing I went through as well. We're going to talk about that in a minute, like that limiting belief about why is debt so overbearing. But I remember there was this fight when I was probably like 10 years old. And they were yelling about why the bank account was getting overdrawn again. And I remember going up to my mom and being like, Mom, why do you guys always have to fight about stupid money? And in that moment, she says, shut the fuck up, get away from me. I don't need your opinion right now. Just like normal. That's actually like how things normally were in my household growing up. And I remember thinking, like, what the heck? But that wasn't the scary part. My dad comes over with a soap dispenser in that moment. And he starts pouring soap all over my mom, on her head, down her neck, on her back. Like, it was terrifying as a little kid. I mean, it was nothing like, as far as like, it wasn't like a physical fight or anything. But I remember thinking, whoa, did money cause this? Is it because of money that my parents are screaming and yelling this much? Is it because of money that this was going on? I thought money was bad. I believed it made you a bad person. I believe that it was incredibly hard to make, and only a very few amount of people got to make it. I believe that it tore relationships apart. And so you can imagine, for those of you guys that don't know, I was a Beachbody coach for 5 years. I built a 5-star diamond business, love everything about Beachbody coaching, and it's just a conflict of interest with what I do now. It led me to my passion. That's the only reason I'm not doing it. It's so amazing. And so when I started my Beachbody business, before things ever happened, you can imagine I want the really big dreams, right? I want the 5-star diamond goal. I want the 10-star. I want all that stuff. But money is bad. Do you see how that might screw with my success a little bit? How I want the big dreams, but money is bad. Like it was like, how do you go from A to Z, but you have chains around your ankle stuck at A? And that was such a limiting belief in my life. And on top of the money, I had a really tough relationship with my mom. Type yes if you can relate to a turbulent relationship with a family member in some way, shape, or form, whether past or present. That was something that like, oh, okay, cool. So we can totally relate here. That's something that I've had to work really hard on to forgive my mom for the pain of growing up. And I've gotten to that point. We have a good relationship now, and we still have to continue to work on that. But getting to that point took some time because I was very, very angry and I was very, very sad. And that's a whole other call that I can do for you guys on how to take what happened in the past and make it mean something empowering. But my reason for bringing that up is because I remember I had this one memory drilled into my head like yesterday. I was a little kid again, getting home from school. And I remember walking in the door, and this was like a recurring theme that would happen over and over and over again. I never knew which version of mom I was going to get. I never knew if I was going to get the, hey, sweetie, how's your day going? I never knew if I was going to get the, why are you talking to me? I never knew if I was going to get the one that was like, shut up and go to your room. I don't need you around. There was never anything physically abusive or anything. But all I knew was that I just craved my mom's love and never felt like I was worthy of it. And I just felt like, what did I do wrong? Like, total eggshells and inconsistency, Jonathan, 100%. Like that was the thing that I dealt with all growing up. I never knew who I had to be approved of by her. And it messed with how I lived my life. It screwed with me. I'd be like a chameleon and change who I was because I desperately craved validation. I desperately craved someone loving me for who I was, but I never got that. And I remember like growing up, it changed how I lived my entire life. So you can imagine when I built my Beachbody business, when I tried to build that, I want to create mass impact in the world. I want to help all these people. I want to do all these things, but I'm not enough. Do you see how that might screw with my abilities to be successful? If I grow up not believing I'm enough for someone, if I grow up not believing that I can have all these things, if I grow up thinking that I'm not worthy, can you see how that might screw with me a little bit? So I had to work on getting over that. And you might have a totally different story. You might have a totally different story, completely different childhood, and that's totally okay. But where can you relate? What limiting belief or beliefs do you have now because of something that happened in your past, maybe a past failure or something you had growing up, that you haven't changed the meaning of yet? Because when you go through a tough experience, it's in those times that your belief about your ability starts to take shape. So when I started my business 5 years ago, it did not matter how many people I invited. It didn't matter how many social media posts I put up. It didn't matter how many team calls I signed up to speak on for my team. It didn't matter how many trainings I did. I just felt stuck. How many of you can relate to the feeling of being stuck and you don't know why? You have everything you need, and some of you are even doing it, but you don't know why you're just sitting there. And so on top of that, I was face to face with my deepest fear, mediocrity, and I was watching my bank account overdraft on a day-to-day basis, and I didn't get what was holding me back. And so I had to go on a journey of fixing it. And I just changed my entire world. I invested, when money was tight, I invested thousands and thousands of dollars into personal growth. I invested hundreds of hours into courses and seminars and trainings and all these things that would teach me what was going on up here that was holding me back, and I figured it out. And that led me to the program that I'll tell you guys about at the end of this call. That program is how I changed my entire life, but I had to figure out how to do it. And the reason I tell you that is because when I tried to build a business, and type yes if this is you, the overwhelming amount of negative self-talk and the lack of belief and the secret obstacles that I didn't even realize were there stopped me in my tracks. How many of you can relate to that? So we can't go over that whole system of how to do it in 1 hour, but if you take this really, really, really seriously, you're gonna learn 3 of the major steps that I took to exploding my life. So number 1, write this down. Number 1, your thoughts are always the reason. Your thoughts are always the reason. You've heard that before a million times, haven't you? You've heard change your thinking, change your life. You've heard that. But how do you do it? How do you do it when your default setting is focused on the negative? How do you do it when things aren't going your way and you desperately want success, but it's not the level that you feel like you deserve? So let's backtrack a little bit. You start to tell yourself these stories, right? Money is bad. Building a team is hard. My teammates won't do anything. It's so much easier for Cassie. I'm not enough. And if you say it enough times, you actually start to believe that. Have you ever noticed that whatever you say to yourself consistently, you actually start to believe? Right? How many of you have ever been at a party with your friends over the years? And to sound cooler than you actually are, you exaggerate a story so you get more laughs or more attention from them. Do you know what I'm talking about? And then they give you more of a reaction. So the next time you're all hanging out, you exaggerate that same story again, only with more conviction, more belief. And then you find yourself 5 years into the future hanging out with your friends, and you don't even know what part of that story is bullshit or not. Do you know what I'm talking about, or am I crazy? Right? I used to do that all the time, right? And I still sometimes do with my friends. But like the reason I bring that up is because the same thing happens with negative self-talk. The exact same thing. Only instead of it being a really fun party topic, it will sabotage your whole life. And this is what we go through life, trying to build a business from this perspective. Right? We try to build a business from that perspective. It does not work. And you go through life believing that. It creates inner conflict. It changes the way you lead your life and your business. It causes you to feel like you're forcing things all the time. Type yes if you feel like you're forcing things all the time, not even just with your business, but like with your bank account or with your marriage or with your parenting, forcing things and you don't know why. Even if you keep hitting Success Club or even if people are whispering belief into your ear, it doesn't change the fact that you feel stagnant and you don't have nearly as much growth as you feel like you deserve. So to change this, obviously, you have to change those beliefs, right? And you have to believe that you're enough before the evidence of your business will ever say that you're enough. You have to believe that you're an amazing leader before you're ever going to have a really big team. You have to believe that you're worthy of greatness before money will ever show up in your bank account. And it's really hard to do that when the evidence of your life right now is saying that you're not that great at it. And that's the hard part. So how do we bridge that gap? Well, have you ever faced a point where, like in your life, where you are trying to convince yourself that you're good enough or that you deserve something great, but you like already know you're gonna fail before you go after it, right? It's like, have you ever done like a vision board or a goal setting workshop and you put like debt free, like pay off student loan debt? That was a big one for me. And it always felt like I was like just tripping over myself. And I'd have the picture of the house and the nice car and I'd have the 5-star diamond or 10-star diamond or all this stuff written out. And it would be like, oh my gosh, that would change everything for me. It would change my entire world. My entire life would be different if I accomplished those goals. But you have that little voice back here, right? That just automatically goes, you're never gonna do that. Do you know what I'm talking about, or am I crazy, right? That little voice just whispering doubt and insignificance into your subconscious mind. You can barely hear him, but he's just right back there, that inner critic. Yes, 100%. He's just sitting there, just whispering that inner mean girl or that inner critic or that inner devil, right? We have to change that thinking. And we can't do it all in an hour, but I can give you an amazing tool to start the process. So first, what is thinking? Thinking is nothing more than the process of asking yourself a question. That's all thinking is. And think about what you just did. You go, is that right? You were thinking about what thinking is, right? So you're asking yourself a question. And if you ask yourself really bad questions, you get really bad answers. But if you ask yourself great questions, you get really great answers. So what would be an example of this? A bad question would be, why am I not enough? Or why is it so much easier for my upline? Those would be bad questions, disempowering questions. A great question would be, why am I worthy of greatness? Why can I do this? Like, why am I more than enough? Why am I beautiful? Why am I strong? Why am I confident? Why am I capable? All these amazing questions. So the mistake I made, though, is I thought I just had to keep hitting Success Club. And yes, you do. You absolutely need to keep hitting Success Club, 100%. Definitely do that. That's your metric for your business growing. But there comes a point when either A, every time you want to hit Success Club, it never happens. B, you hit it inconsistently. Or C, even if you hit it, nothing happens and you don't know why. So let's figure out why that is, shall we? Look around the room you're in right now, and this will make more sense in a second. Look around the room you're in right now and count the number of things that you can find that are red. Count them. Ready, go. Look for red. 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 Keep looking for red. Look for red. Look for red. Look for red. Look for red. Count them up. Look for red. 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 Cool. Hold up your hands. How many things do you find that were red? Hold up your hands. Bunch of them, like a ton of stuff, right? 18 in the chat box here. Awesome. 25, fantastic. 16, 5, 20. Awesome. Cool. That's amazing. But question, how many things did you find that were blue? No idea. No idea. You have no idea how many things were blue because you weren't looking for it. But check this out. Look around the room that you're in right now and count the number of things you can find that are blue. Watch this. Look for blue. Look for blue. Find that beach body blue. Look for 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 blue. Oh my gosh, it's everywhere. Look for blue. 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 All that blue you did not see before. Look for blue. 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 Hold up your hands. How many more things did you find that were blue? And how many of you even saw green and pretended it was blue just so you would feel successful at this exercise? Right? So what does that prove? That proves that when you look for red, you don't even notice blue. And when you look for blue, you don't even notice red. How the heck does this have to do with success? Well, when you focus on what you don't want, red, that's doubt. That's skepticism. Those are negative questions. That's pain. That's fear. That's holding back. Those are all those limiting things about why you're not enough or why you can't do this or why you're so broke. And those thoughts will grow in your mind like weeds, meaning it is natural for your mind to be an asshole to itself. Why? Because this is why Jim Rohn has a quote that says, stand guard at the gates of your mind or weeds will grow automatically. What does that mean? It means unless you program your mind to find blue, what you want, your dreams, you will automatically find red. And if you look for red, if you automatically find red, what do you not see? You don't see your dreams, do you? So why is that? Because your brain does not care if you are happy. Your brain does not care if you hit your goals. Your brain doesn't care if you achieve your wildest dreams because your brain's primary job is to make sure you survive. So at any moment in time, it's looking for what to protect you from. Think about why that is. Millions of years ago, you weren't worried about sending an invite on Facebook or building a Beachbody business. You were worried about the tiger hiding in the bushes that was going to eat your kid. That's what you were worried about. You were worried about the ice age. You were worried about, I don't even know what happened back then, but you get the point, right? It's a survival mechanism. So unless we reprogram it, which I'll show you how to do in a minute, you will automatically find what you don't want. Automatically. So your brain's natural default setting is to focus on what you don't want. So ask yourself this right now. Just try it. Ask yourself, why am I not enough to build my business? Just try that. Why am I not enough to build my business? What happens when you ask yourself that question? Ask it, like in your own mind. It doesn't feel very motivating, does it? Focusing on red doesn't feel very good. And even when you read happy, positive thinking, self-help books, it doesn't change the fact that you have that voice in your head that says you're not enough. I shared a couple of my limiting beliefs a minute ago about why is money bad? Why am I not enough? Right? What are yours? Right? Maybe it's, why isn't my team growing? Maybe it's, why am I so stuck? Maybe it's, why don't people want to join me? Maybe it's, why is it's so hard to lose weight? Why is it so hard to catch a break? Why am I so broke? Why am I so fat? Why am I not pretty enough? Why can't I do anything right? Why will I always be this stuck? How many of you guys have asked yourself those questions on a regular basis? Those are limiting red questions. And it doesn't feel very good to ask yourself that regularly. And when you do that regularly, what you're saying you do, what do you not notice? You don't even look for your dreams. No wonder you're not getting there. These are limiting beliefs. It doesn't feel very good to ask those, right? But it leads to a lot of pain, a lot of procrastination. There you are looking at your life, frustrated with the results you're getting. And no matter how much someone tells you that you can do this, it doesn't change the fact that you have this voice in your head that says you're never going to get there. So how do we change it? Well, when you set a goal, your dominant beliefs determine if that goal comes true. And goal setting is nothing more than the process of trying to create a new reality as opposed to your current reality. That's all goal setting is. The gap in the middle between where you are and where you want to be, whether you're looking for red or looking for blue. Have you ever noticed, even if you're broke, if you decide you really want to buy a car, once you decide, that car shows up everywhere, doesn't it? Let's say you decide you want to buy a 2017 Ford Fusion. What do you see at every street light, every parking lot, every stop sign, everywhere? You see that Ford Fusion, right? And even if things are tight financially, it ends up in your driveway a week later. you look for blue, don't you? Unless your mind focuses on the dream, the blue, what you want on a regular basis, which I'll teach you how to do in a second, then you're only going to find red and you're not going to get there. This is why so many people's business doesn't grow. And that's what we're going to break through. So let's use the example of why isn't my team growing? Ask yourself that right now. Notice when you say, why isn't my team growing? You actually look for an answer. Like, ask yourself that. Why isn't my team growing? Even if you are successful, you start to question yourself. That's how insidious negative self-talk is. Something you need to understand is that your entire world can be changed by asking yourself more empowering blue questions. Realize that your brain is just like a Google search engine. It will answer whatever the heck you type into that search bar, whatever you type in. And unless you type in consistently something blue, it will automatically find red. So what if you intentionally reverse it? If you're gonna get an answer anyways, you might as well type in a question that's gonna lead to a better life. When you say, why is it so hard to build my team? What does your brain do? It finds all the reasons why you can't do this. So you never find the answer to your biggest challenges. When you sit down to work, your brain is literally looking for every reason why you're not capable. So you don't send invites. You go, why aren't more people coming to me and why aren't I at Success Club 10 yet? And you just drive yourself nuts wishing your business would build, but you don't do the work because you're too focused on red. And what's so crazy is that there's amazing people and opportunities and blue that stumble across your life every single day. But because your software is running on why is it so hard, self-sabotage steps in, doesn't it? You won't even notice the blue everywhere. You won't even notice that mom that's standing next to you in the grocery store checkout line that has high cholesterol and you could literally save her life with Shakeology. You won't even notice that dad that lives next door that has no idea how he's going to pay for his kid's college education. And listen, you have his freedom trapped in your mouth right now. You won't even notice him because you're too focused on red. So ask yourself this. Why is it so easy to rank advance this month? Try that. Try that one out. Why is it so easy to rank advance this month? What happens if you're brand new? You go, oh shit, Emerald's only 2 people. I can ask John and Susie and probably 5 more because I know not everyone's going to say yes. I'm going to ask John and Susie. I'm going to figure it out, right? When you say that, you start to look for an answer. You don't need to find the answer, but you look for an answer, right? This is why a lot of affirmations don't work very well for a lot of people. Because if you go, I'm a millionaire, your brain goes, bullshit. No, you're not. But if your brain goes, why is it so easy to impact 1 million lives? You start to look for it. Asking yourself empowering questions will change your world. Can you imagine if you fill your mind with just this one step of my program every single day? Your life will change, guys. You don't need to have the answer either. You just need to live in a blue question. That's it. You just need to live in a blue question. Conditionally program your mind with blue, because if you know what you want and why it's so important to you, the how will reveal itself. Always remember that. You don't need to know how. You'll figure out how if you know what you want and why you want it. Every problem you face is just a blue question you got to ask yourself. That's it. So for your life and your business, when we leave here in half an hour, when we finish this call, I want you to write down all the negative crap you ask yourself on a regular basis. Not just with with your business, but with your life, all of your life. Right? Like your marriage, your bank account, everything. Write down all the negative things you ask yourself on a regular basis, or red, right? Why am I not enough? Why am I so fat? Why am I stuck? Why does my husband always annoy me? Why am I so broke? Whatever it is, write down all the negative questions you ask yourself on a regular basis, and you're going to flip those questions on their head. You're going to turn them into their empowering alternative. And that's okay if it's a long list, Ricky. Do it. It'll change your life. Like, you're going to flip those questions on their head. You're going to turn those into, why is it so easy to blank? Why is it so simple to blank? Why am I so kind to myself? Why am I worthy of living an amazing life? Because guys, this gets so much easier when you flood your mind with blue. 2 questions change my entire world. And I still ask myself these questions every single day. Why am I so kind to myself today? And number 2, why am I worthy of living an amazing life? Number 1, why am I so kind to myself today? And number 2, why am I worthy of living an amazing life? Because life gets 100% easier if you're 1% nicer to yourself, guys. And you'd be nicer to yourself by asking yourself better questions. Your life will change if you do this. So like my wife probably thought I was crazy because I literally recorded these questions on my phone. I would record them and I listened to them while I slept at night. I would listen, like seriously, overnight. I listened to these empowering questions while I walked the dog, while I did the dishes, when I was in the shower. Any opportunity I could to flood my mind with blue, I took it because I knew if I didn't, I was gonna find red. And if I find red, what do I not see? I don't see blue. So how many of you guys raise your hand if you are in a relationship or married in some way? Like married, relationship, dating, whatever. Cool. Awesome. Can you imagine how your relationship would change if you had an alarm that went off on your phone 5 minutes before your husband or wife got home from work that said, why is it so easy to fall in love with my spouse again today? Can you imagine how your relationship would change forever from one question? One. Can you imagine that? It would be so powerful because you wouldn't let all that stuff of the day affect how you go about your relationship. You would lean into it and bring presence to the relationship, right? How many of you guys are parents? Raise your hand if you have a child. Child, anyone? Bueller? Not as many? That's okay. So if you had an alarm that went off on your phone 5 minutes before your kid got up from a nap or got home from school or whatever it is, or called home, and you had an alarm that went off that said, why is it so easy? Why is it so easy to be a patient and loving parent today? Can you imagine how their life would change forever from one question? Everything would change from one question. That's the power of this, guys. You're reprogramming your mind with blue. Your life will change if you do this. It's not an if, it will happen. This is how one of the many ways I changed my life, but this is one of the most powerful ones. So think about it. You're planting new thought seeds. You're watering those thought seeds daily with a blue question. You put weed killer on the red. You let that die in your garden. And now the only thing that you water is the blue. You flood your mind with it. Within less time than you think, your garden is gorgeous. It's blooming with so many plants, and it's giving your life blue oxygen again. And when your life has oxygen again, guess what happens? Business gets easy pretty quickly because people want to be part of your life. Is this helpful? Is this one mindset strategy helpful so far? Think you can use this? I have 2 more for you guys. I might go about 5 over time because I was silly with my computer and it didn't update it because that's my bad. Is that okay if I go 5 over, Cassie? Okay, awesome. So number two, this is so important, and a lot of you guys will be able to relate to this a lot. Write it down. Your problem is not the problem. How you face your problem is the problem. What does that mean? Your problem is not the problem. How you face your problem is the problem. What does that mean? When you are so emotionally attached to a goal coming true, you actually push that goal away from you. You actually push it away from you. What does that mean? Don't take it to mean that you shouldn't be excited or passionate about your goals. You absolutely should be excited or passionate and get your hopes up about your goals. But what I mean is, when your happiness is dependent on a goal coming true, a rank, a weight, whatever it is, you push that goal away from you. Type yes if you have ever found yourself pushing really hard for a goal and it's evading you. It's like it's flirting with you almost. It's going, nah, nope. It's just not this time, right? Every time you push, it's 5 pounds lost, gain 7. You don't know why. It's 2 steps forward, 2.5 steps back. You're going, what am I doing wrong? Or how many of you have ever hit a goal like Success Club 10 or 5-star or Elite or Premier or whatever it is, and you hit that goal and you feel hollow and empty inside when you do it and you don't know why? And you're going, well, now what? Okay, I hit Success Club 10. Now what? It's because you are attached to your goals instead of committed to your goals. When you think this way, meaning when that goal determines your happiness, how do you feel if you miss a goal? Horrible, which by the way, you're gonna miss goals. How do you feel when you miss a goal? Horrible. Feel like your self-worth takes a hit. You feel like just compounding negative self-talk. So you start to believe that you can't do this. And it just holds you back and you don't know why you're so stuck. When you try to build a business that way, isn't it overwhelming and intense and stressful to try to solve that problem? So you start to accept it as truth, but it's not. Remember, your problems are just a blue question you gotta ask, that's it. They are not responsible for your happiness. When you view it that way, all of a sudden the challenges get easier because you stop pushing away the lesson that will get you to your freedom. And this is a huge important note here. And this is the overarching focus of everything I teach people how to do. I teach people how to be happy before the goal because, huge note, write this in your notes. Business and success do not cause happiness. Happiness causes those things. Your problem is that you need to learn how to be happy first, and then the goals will happen. If you are not satisfied with where you are now, you will not be satisfied when you get to a goal. I promise you that. It's just, you just feel so stuck and empty and hollow inside, right? So happiness and appreciation for where you are right now is how you overcome the challenge. Most people don't get that. I didn't. It's why I stayed stuck for so many years. So how many of you view that you, or think, how many of you think, type yes if this is you, that you should be further along by now? Type yes if that's you. I should be further along by now. I'm glad we're going to work together because this is what I teach people how to do. If you are shoulding all over yourself like that, and you say, I should be elsewhere, I should be further along, I should be diamond, I should be at success level, I should be elite, I should be at this place in my bank account and all that stuff. Like you say you should. What you're doing is you're saying, I'll be happy when. And you're missing the point that life will continue to teach you the lessons that you need to learn until you hear them. Where you are right now is exactly where you're meant to be. And when you can view it as that, and if you can view it like where you are right now as exactly right, all of a sudden your mind opens up to what's going to get you further along. When I viewed where I was at that moment as wrong, I pushed away those aha moments that I was desperately craving. So practicing gratitude for where you are is how you get to where you want to be. So write this in your notes. Seeing your current good is the fastest way to increase more good. Seeing your current good is the fastest way to increase more good. If you feel that you should be elsewhere, you should be further along, then you're not seeing the beauty in the moment. This is why Shaun T always says in his program, in all of his programs, if you want to lose weight, you have to love where you are with your body right now. That's how you get to where you want to be because that's all you've got. Where you are right now is not freaking wrong. It's where you're supposed to be. So stop freaking hating it. It's exactly where you're meant to be to learn what you need to learn to live the life you're meant to live. So seeing your current good is the fastest way to increase more good. Step into the common sense corner for a second. If you're God, the universe, whatever you believe in, whatever you believe is great, right? If you're God, the universe, whatever you believe in, you have person A and person B down on earth, right? Person A is that person that says, I should be further along right now. I'm not to where I want to be. I'll finally be able to relax when I get there. It's raining outside. That means traffic's going to be shitty, right? Oh my gosh, I don't have time for this. I don't know enough people. I just feel so stuck. That's person A, and I'm obviously exaggerating, but you get the point. Person A. Then there's person B that's going, oh my gosh, I just signed up as a coach today, and I'm going to hit 10-star. No idea how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to figure it out. And oh my gosh, I'm 100 pounds overweight, and I'm so excited to join Cassie's challenge group and lose 100 pounds and figure out how to eat healthy. And I know I have high cholesterol, but I'm on the right track. Or oh my gosh, I'm going through a divorce right now, and I'm really grateful because it's brought me so much closer to my kids. Or you know what? Holy cow! Like in the summertime, if you go outside and you get too close, these little things called bees, they sting you. It's incredible. They have so much courage, and they're like 1/100th of your size. And oh my gosh, it's raining. That means my flowers are going to blossom. It's going to be incredible, right? Obviously, I'm making crap up, but you get the point, right? Person A, person B. Step into the common sense corner. If you're God, the universe, whatever you believe in, are you going to give more to the person that's complaining about having less? Or are you going to give more to the person that loves everything they already have, including the challenges, including the pain? Seeing your current good, including the challenges, is the fastest way to increase more good. And what's so awesome about this one skill, guys, is it means you don't have to work nearly as hard for exponentially better results. Because instead of slamming down on that gas pedal to get to that destination, just desperately wishing you could get there, and you're death gripping the steering wheel, smoke's coming out your tires, and you're going, why am I stuck here? You see all these other cars flying by you on the highway to success, hitting elites and getting out of debt and all these things that you really want to achieve, but you just sit there, death gripping that steering wheel going, what's wrong? You realize the only thing that has been wrong this entire time Say your emergency brake is on. That's it. You don't need to push down harder on the pedal of success. You just need to release the emergency brake on your life. That's it. Most people try to climb this big mountain of success saying, I'll be happy when. I'll be happy when I get to a big goal. I'll be happy when I'm out of debt. No, you won't be. No, you won't be. If you're not happy where you are now, you're not going to get to that place. They say, I'll be happy when I get to that level. But here's the thing. That's the same thing as trying to climb a mountain with a blindfold on. Because have you ever gone hiking out west? If you go try to summit a mountain, is it a straight shot up to the top? Or is it twists and turns and ups and downs and ebbs and flows? Just, sometimes you get bad weather. Sometimes it's clear. You don't know what you're going to get, right? Same thing is true of success. So if you're to try to climb a mountain with a blindfold on, you're going to trip, you're going to fall, you're going to lose the trail. And it's going to take you way freaking longer to get to the top. Way longer to get to the top. And even if you do get to the top, you're not going to see any of the beauty around you. It's going to feel hollow and empty. This is that person that gets to elite and goes, now what? This is that person that hits Success Club 10 and feels like it's not enough. This is that person that makes a $200 payment towards their student loan debt, but is pissed off that they're not all the way out of it yet. That's what happens. And it sucks to live that way, doesn't it? So what if you just take that blindfold off? Instead of becoming attached to the mountaintop, you become committed to getting there. Super pumped about it, super excited about getting to the top, and committed to following the trail because you know that the trail is going to lead you up there. And if your goal from now on, like tonight, you set the goal of, I'm going after this dream for the person I become and the growth I experience, well then, even if that trail twists and turns and goes up and down, even if it's going downhill, meaning a coach quits, you get a return order, you drop in rank, you miss Success Club. If your goal is growth, aren't you still getting a result every single step of the way? You still get a positive result, don't you? Everything changes if you live this way, guys. Everything. Because you start to learn something instead of hate something. It's no more, I should be at the summit. It's, I love where I am now, and I'm so excited about what I'm learning. And I trust the trail life is giving me is getting me to where I'm supposed to be. It's having faith instead of demanding certainty. It's a whole new way to live. Everything gets easier if you become committed to the goal instead of attached. You see what I'm going with this? Like, that feeling you have in your heart where like you feel like you need to force things all the time and it just feels like you're not getting the results you want and you're pushing so hard for them and you don't know why you're stuck. What if you became alive again? What if your energy became contagious again? Like, how would your life change? How would everything change? Living this way makes success easier, and I can't teach you how to do all of that in 1 hour. That's what my course is for. I'll free us in about 10 minutes. I can give you one final tip to make living that way so much easier. You guys got time for one more? I call it the secret sauce. The secret sauce, you might know this, as genuine gratitude. And some of you just rolled your eyes. Some of you said, ha, gratitude, cool. That's something people do to feel good about their day and whatever. I used to think that way too. I used to think gratitude was a crock of shit. I really did. And so I'm going to tell you right now, gratitude is a business tool. Gratitude is a success tool. Gratitude is a money tool. Gratitude is a marriage tool. Gratitude is a tool that every successful person chooses to use because it is impossible to feel any pain if you are deeply grateful. It is impossible to feel any disempowering emotion that stops your business or your life from growing if you are grateful. And here's the thing. I do not mean gratitude by the way of like, how many of you do this? Where you focus on red all day long and then you write 3 things in a journal to feel better. You know what I'm talking about? Like you write 3 things in a journal to feel better. That's not gratitude. That's not gratitude. That's you saying, okay, I want to feel a little bit better today. That is not actual gratitude. If you internalize the gratitude when you write those things down and you actually feel it in your heart, then yeah, that's for sure real gratitude. But if you're doing it just as a checklist item, it's not going to happen, guys. It's not going to happen. So real gratitude, I promise you, if you practice genuine gratitude every day, genuine gratitude, not BS gratitude, genuine gratitude every day for the rest of the year, you will wake up on January 1st of 2020 a completely different person. Guaranteed. This changed my entire life, guys. Because remember, seeing your current good is the fastest way to increase more good. Loving and being grateful for your challenges is how you overcome the challenges. Common theme here, right? So sometimes though, I'm going to take you through a practice in a minute to show you how to feel real gratitude. But let's have some perspective first. And so important to understand this. You're watching a video about mindset right now. From anywhere in the world, you could be UK, Canada, the US, but anywhere really. You probably have a cozy blanket on or the heat turned up or whatever. You're probably going to drive your car to your office tomorrow to go to work or wherever you work and make money, and to live, to eat, all this stuff. You can probably go to the doctor to get treated for some sort of medical care. You can probably take your dog to the vet to get treated for hot spots on their arm, right? You can probably watch your Apple TV tonight or your Roku or whatever it is and watch, Friends or Breaking Bad or Marie Kondo if you're into that, right? And all of that, I guarantee you a lot of people on this call took for granted. When someone's going to freaking kill themselves in the next 40 seconds, just let that sink in. Someone is going to end their own life in 40 seconds. When there is a mother out there who is going to watch her child starve to death tonight. When there are people out there injecting needles into their arms to cope with pain. When there are countries that live with communism. When 2/3 of this world live on $900 a year. $2.50 a day. If you can't pay your electric bill, you are rich beyond measure. Being in student loan debt is a dream that so many people will never be able to feel. So we're so used to the miracles happening around us every single day that we don't even view them as miracles anymore, do we? This pen, this Post-it, like we don't even see it as miracles anymore. These things were once just a thought or an idea. This team was once a thought or an idea. That's it, right? That proves that you can create miracles at any second of any day. We have the tendency to let go of gratitude and make it a rule that we can only be happy if that next thing happens. And just like we talked about a minute ago, that is setting you up to suffer in life. If you can take away one sentence from this entire talk, it's the following sentence. Put this in notes and bold by your computer. Live it the rest of your life because your life will change if you do. Nothing has to happen in order for you to be happy. Nothing. Absolutely nothing needs to happen for you to be happy. As long as you structure your life in a way where your happiness is dependent on something else, your money, your bank account, your business, what someone says, how someone acts, you will never be fulfilled in the way that you desire. Even if you have success, you could be winning and feel like you're losing. That's where that hollow success comes from, right? Because you'll only feel happy if the next thing happens. So even if you achieve, you go, what's next? And achievement without gratitude is total failure. Total failure, guys. Think about this. You're breathing. You're alive. That's enough to smile about, isn't it? Some people don't have that privilege. And if you're smiling and looking for blue, business gets way easier. A lot of you have these high expectations of your spouse, your kids, your team, your volume, your sales, whatever. And when your life conditions, meaning the way life is right now, doesn't match up with how you think it should be, you get frustrated, right? Like you have these rules of what needs to happen first before you can be successful or happy or fulfilled. You got to let that go. And I'll teach you how in my program how to do that. But gratitude is one of the many ways, because your view of life literally determines your future. So every single day, if you condition this into who you are, so this is how you wake up, slowly the anxiety, the overwhelm, the fear, the negative self-talk, the limiting beliefs, you're not going to feel it anymore. Like, if you ever put a cup of Shakeology in the sink and it's all mucky and nasty, and you turn the faucet on, what ends up happening? Initially, it's brown and cloudy and nasty, right? But over the course of time, ends up being clear. That's what's going to happen to your mind if you learn how to condition this into who you are. If you get this coached into who you are. You're looking at someone right now who I did not start this way, right? I went through a period of my life where, and type yes if this is you, I knew what I wanted so bad. I knew I was meant for something big, but I couldn't get myself to do it. And I'd have these bad days, like 3 or 4 days a week, where I knew what I needed to do. I had all the tools that to get me there, everything. I had a great upline, everything. and I couldn't get myself to act consistently. And even when I did act, it didn't give me the results I wanted, and I felt down about it. And then I would feel guilty for being down, and I had to be perfect again. And then it was perfection, guilt, perfection, guilt, perfection, guilt. Ended up slipping into these depressed, like bouts of depression on the couch, wanting my life to change. Laptop literally staring at me going, dude, change your life. You have everything you need. And I couldn't get myself to do it. And even worse, maybe you can understand this. Type yes if you can understand this. I was down on myself, but even worse, I was pissed off at myself for being down. I was pissed off at myself for being less than I could be. I was pissed off at myself for living in mediocrity when I knew I was meant for greatness. And it sucked. And fast forward to where I am now, life has drastically changed. It's flooded with abundance and beautiful opportunities and amazing people and like just so much happiness. I'm actually this annoyingly happy on a regular basis. Like actually. Right? And it didn't start that way. I had to teach myself how to do this. I had to coach this into who I am. But now this is my default setting. And success is so much easier now. So I didn't start there. And yes, there are days once in a blue moon where I get the whole woe is me, depressed, useless feeling that day. Absolutely, I'm human. Everyone does. But I can get out of it in 2 minutes using gratitude. The skill of gratitude. In fact, what I learned from my mentor, Tony Robbins, who I highly recommend all of you go to his events and stuff, is that you can solve any problem in your life in 2-3 minutes using the skill of gratitude. And so what I'm about to take you through, I didn't create, it's not my work, it's his, but I need to share it with you because it's so powerful. It's so incredible, and it's something that can radically change your whole world. So get somewhere where you can allow yourself to feel totally vulnerable for a minute. Like you're not around anyone else, you're just fully vulnerable. And I'm going to take you through an exercise that you don't need to understand, but it's really powerful. So get somewhere where you can be totally vulnerable. And if you know that you're not going to feel the full spectrum of human emotion, like with your video on, actually turn your video off for the next 5 minutes. Turn your video off. Because I promise you this can change your whole life if you do it. If you play all out with me here. If you don't play all out, you're not going to get anything out of this. Okay, so only do this if you're going to play all out. Turn the video off or just get somewhere where you need to be. And start to think of something in your life that's stressing you out right now on a scale of 1 to 10, like a 7 or higher. Something that's really stressful, something you don't know how to solve. It's unfinished business. It's something where you just feel stuck. You don't know why you can't figure it out. You don't know why you can't change it. You just wish you could. And you just feel like you can't break through. And you don't know what the hell is going on, don't know what's stopping you. Raise your hand if you have your stressor, just so I can see. Raise your hand if you have your stressor. Okay. Close your eyes. Keep them closed until I tell you to open them and shake your body out. Sit up nice and tall, nice and tall. All distractions turned off or away. Sit up nice and tall. And take a deep breath in your nose. Exhale your mouth. Just trust me on this. Inhale through your nose. Exhale out your mouth. And take both your hands and physically put them on your heart for a moment. Just trust me. Physically put them on your heart. And as you breathe deep into your heart. Like actually imagine the oxygen flowing in your nose, through your heart, and back out your mouth. Another one, big deep breath in through your nose, through your heart, and back out your mouth. And notice how your breath has already calmed your mind. And take a second and feel so grateful for this heart that's beating in your chest right now. It beats 100,000 times a day without you having to do anything for it. As long as it beats, you live. It's a gift. You didn't have to buy it. Didn't have to earn it. Something thought enough of you to give you this amazing gift of life the moment you were born. It beats even when you sleep. You have inherent worth because this is beating in your chest right now. So take a second and feel so deeply grateful that you even have this gift of life when some people don't. Take that in and breathe that gratitude and appreciation for everything your heart has guided you to do, become, to share, to give. Just breathe that into your heart right now, feeling so grateful, so appreciative for this gift of life. And just take that into your heart for a second. And now, from the state of gratitude, go back to a moment in your life that you can feel so deeply grateful for. What's that moment for you? Is it when you said, I do? Is it when you had your first baby? What's that moment for you? Step back into that moment and don't just see it from the outside. Relive it. Step back into that moment like you're there. Breathe the same way you did then. See the same things you saw then. Relive that experience, that beautiful experience all over again, feeling so grateful, so happy, so alive, so appreciative. And breathe that memory into your heart right now, feeling so grateful. Big deep breath in through your heart and back out your mouth. And breathe that gratitude into your heart and know that this feeling is within you whenever you want. And now go to a second memory. What's a second memory in your life that you can feel unbelievably deep feelings of gratitude and appreciation for? Take that into your heart right now. Same thing. Don't just see it from the outside. Relive it. Re-experience it all over again. Breathe the same way you did then. See what you saw then. Hear what you heard then. Feel what you felt then now. Like it's happening. Feeling so grateful, so appreciative, so alive, so happy. And breathe that memory into your heart. And just cherish that for a second. Know that this feeling's within you whenever you want. And now go to a coincidence. What's something in your life that you didn't make it happen? You didn't do anything to make it happen, but it happened. You were in line at Starbucks and you met the love of your life. You didn't mean to get pregnant. Now you have a beautiful family. You got a message on Facebook. Now you're changing your whole world. What's that coincidence for you? Step back into that moment and see everything it led to. Why is your life such a gift right now from something that you didn't make happen? And breathe that gratitude into your heart and think of everything it led to. Was it a person, a career, an insight, a life change? What's that coincidence for you? Was that actually a coincidence, or were you being guided? Take that and breathe it in, because it's so amazing and beautiful when you realize that life is always happening for you and not to you. Even the problems, they're gifts because they lead to a more elevated version of you. So take that in, feeling so grateful, so appreciative, so happy. And take that into your heart right now. And now, just like the movies, see each of these moments stacking on top of each other. See that first memory, let it flash before your eyes. That second memory, let it flash before you. That coincidence, let it flash in front of you. Add that gratitude for your heart beating 100,000 times a day. And now triple the amount of appreciation and love and gratitude that you have for this beautiful gift in your life. It's called life. Take that in, feeling so grateful. And actually imagine spreading this energy to people that you love the most. They don't even have to know it. Just let it touch their lives. And send it out from all directions, up, out through your head, through your arms, through your legs, every single direction, radiating out from your heart right now, feeling so grateful, so happy, so alive, so appreciative. And just take that in. Breathe that gratitude into your heart right now, feeling so grateful, and just say in your own mind the words, thank you. Just appreciate this gift of life for a moment. And now from this beautiful state, from your heart, not your head, from your heart, go back to that stressor that you totally forgot about. Go back to that stressor, and from this beautiful state, from your heart, ask your heart to complete the following sentence. In this stressful situation, all I need to remember is blank. In this stressful situation, all I need to do is blank. In this situation, all I need to say is blank. Ask your heart for the answer, because it knows, doesn't it? It knows what you need to do. It knows the next step in your life. Now open your eyes once you have your answer or your direction. Open your eyes and take in the fact that seeing your current good, looking for blue, is the fastest way to increase more good. How many of you found direction to a challenging time in the last few minutes? How many of you know the next step that you need to take? How many of you know how to go forward from here when you didn't before? That's the power of gratitude. That's how it's a business tool. That's how it's a success tool. Because guys, as we close here, realize one thing. You have one shot in this life. One. That's it. One shot. Most people go through life trying to stay safe, never going for it, never really experiencing the real them. By the way, that was the real you. That was the you that wasn't consumed by bullshit fear. That's the you that's meant to feel fully alive every single day, not living in mediocrity. You're exactly where you need to be right now. Exactly where you need to be. That outcome you're looking for isn't the answer. Where you are right now is the answer. You're exactly where you are supposed to be. And when you can see it that way, amazing things start to happen in your life. Instead of just knowing that, all you have to do to radically change your whole world is make this part of who you are. And when you do, game over. Can you imagine how the world would change if this was how you woke up? If this was how you lived, if this was how you solved challenges, solved marital problems, solved bank account challenges, all of it, if this was your default setting, how would your life change? And if that's something that you guys feel is the next step, you know that something in here or something up here holding you back from what deep down you're meant to be, if it's okay with you, I'd love to share just for 2 minutes about an opportunity to continue this type of education. Tonight was so top level. We barely scratched the surface, barely. Imagine getting down to the inner layers and ripping out everything holding you back. That's something Cassie and I have prepared for you tonight. Cassie's actually one of my clients, guys, one of my clients. And we've prepared an amazing opportunity for you to learn how to do this. If you've been pushing so hard for your goals, and it seems like it's getting further and further away, or you don't know what's stopping you. You have the invite training, you have the social media training, you have the Instagram stories, you have this stuff, and you see all these other people crushing it. You don't know what's stopping you from being consistent or having success, and you don't know how some days you crush it, some days you can't get to where you want to be. You can't even get off the couch. You can't figure out what's stopping you from success, and more importantly, from being happy. I've created an online course that will literally break you through all of it. There are hundreds and hundreds of Beachbody coaches that are in this program, endorsed by the top leaders in the company. The reason you feel stuck, guys, is inner conflict. That's it. Inner conflict that needs to be resolved. Negative self-talk, lack of worth, limiting beliefs. You hear the cliches, change your thinking, change your life. Appreciation Academy teaches you how to change your thinking, how to be happy, how to attract success instead of repel it. And because your leader is amazing, we've arranged a massive discount on this program for both the payment plan or full pay option. Okay, so even if things are tight, guys, by the way, if things are tight in your life, whether it's through me or through someone you trust more, that's exactly why you must invest in your growth, because someone else has the solution to what's going on and can shrink decades into days. And that is why I know it's like scary to do that. That's why I have a 60-day guarantee on it, where if it doesn't change your world, I'll send your money back. If you guys know who Jen Richardson is, by the way, 15-star Diamond Coach Million Club member, she says, and I quote, "Appreciation Academy is the missing link that every Beachbody coach needs to finally see success in their business." Micah Folsom, a 2-time 15-star Diamond Coach, rock star, says, and I quote, "If you're doing all the things and you don't know why you're stuck, or even if you can't get yourself to act, you absolutely need this program." I can go on and on with testimonials. I don't share this to impress you guys. I share it to impress upon you. This is not about selling something. It's because it's real, and I think you can feel that. This changes your whole world. Marriage, bank account, stress level, everything. It rips away the layers of pain, preventing you from being who you're meant to be. It's not a business training. That shit doesn't work until you master this, and especially this. This teaches you how to finally believe in yourself, how to silence the inner demons, and how to live every day with a smile on your face. And you can ask Cassie, I do not disappear on you. I am there for you every step of the way, fully invested in your success. Just like we talked about, business and success do not create happiness, guys. Happiness creates success. And this is the only course I've ever seen that teaches you how to actually be happy with where you are now. It's 7 years of personal growth packed together, shrinking almost a decade into a couple months, so you don't have to wait that long. So if you'd like to work together as a team on this, if you feel something real here, and you just want to give this a shot, I encourage you, invest in Appreciation Academy by heading to bradbizjack.com/team call. Again, that's bradbizjack.com/team call. This will be posted in your page after this, by the way, so you don't need to remember that. But bradbizjack.com/team call. There's like a promotional period or a page where you put in your name and all that. It shows me where you come from so I can tell the leader of the team. And then the next page is the sales page with all the information. So I just want to say, guys, thank you so much for the privilege of serving you tonight. Thank you for your patience in the beginning of the call when I didn't realize that I needed to update my computer. And I just want to say thank you so much for being here and for taking this to heart tonight. And I really hope to see you in Appreciation Academy. Give it a shot. Take it seriously. It is a life-changing program. So Cassie, I'll turn it back to you, my friend. Thank you so much for having me. I'd love to hear your take on Appreciation Academy and anything else you have to share tonight.
Yes. Okay. Oh, I just woke up the baby. Sorry, Bob. That was amazing. Oh no. Oh no. I'm single mom and sorry, my husband has to be up for work at 4, but that was so good. And everybody is seriously crying. And I'm like literally watching people wipe tears from their eyes. It was amazing. And he is so caring. I literally get handwritten Christmas cards, you guys. Like how many people do that for, even as Beachbody coaches, I struggle to write handwritten cards in my challengers. And he has hundreds and hundreds of clients and he writes handwritten letters. Like, it's amazing. And when I first joined, he wrote me one. So it's just nice to feel like you're not just a number, you know, like he really does know who you are. When I had Jackson, he messaged me and was like, hey, congrats on your little one. It just feels really good having somebody actually care. You know what I mean? So I can't say enough about him. He's a very nice person. And like I said, especially as a brand new coach, when I was just, my first year was a shit show, guys. It was everything he's talking about because I hadn't mastered my mindset. No amount of work I was doing was working because I had so many limiting beliefs. And that's what he's saying is like, if you can't get past those, it is going to be very, very hard, if not impossible, to move forward. You really have to kind of get past those limiting beliefs. And even then, you know, even now where I am now, I still have them. I still have to be working on them all the time. I catch myself self-sabotaging myself like literally all the time. And I'm like, why are you doing this? You know? And it's because something in me, a limiting belief I have or something will hold me back. And so you always have to be kind of working through those. So I don't know if anybody has questions. If you do, you can feel free to post in the chat here. But that was amazing. Thank you so much for taking time to talk to us, Brad. And I will post both in Carly's team page since she's gone tonight and in my team page the information for his training if you guys want to sign up for that. So thank you, Brad. That was awesome. Yep, I will share it in the team page. Yeah, everybody's just like saying how good this was, and everybody's crying. So a good Sunday call. All right, bye, guys. Uh-oh.